Yes, good morning, Vaishnavi. In last class, what we have discussed? Anyone? Students, in last class, what we have discussed?
Conversion of epsilon NFA to NFA.
Yes, conversion of with epsilon to without, with epsilon NFA to without epsilon NFA, right? So, what is the procedure? We'll see. Just recall. This conversion problem we have discussed yesterday, right? So just recall what we have done yesterday. The conversion of with epsilon NFA to without epsilon, right? Here what we are going to do, just remove the epsilon transition. Okay, for that we have some procedure. With the help of that procedure we can convert the with epsilon NFA to without epsilon NFA. Okay, so here the diagram is given with the epsilon transition. We have to convert the particular diagram to without epsilon. Okay, here we have two states, Q0 and Q1, and the inputs are 1 minute, and the inputs are 0 and 1. Okay, so we have to process So what are the first step? We have to calculate the epsilon closure for all the states in the diagram. Okay, we know how we can calculate the epsilon closure, right? So here we have two states. So we have to calculate epsilon closure for the two states, that is Q0 and Q1. Okay, epsilon closure of Q0 and epsilon closure of Q1. Okay, so after that, once we find the epsilon closure, we have to find the initial state for the output diagram, right? For that, we have to get the initial state from the input diagram, okay, with epsilon NFA. In that, which one is the initial state? That is the Q0. So we can assume the same state as the initial state for the without epsilon NFA. Okay, so the Q0 is the initial state of NFA without epsilon. Now we have to find the transition for all the states with all the input. Okay, so Q0, here we have only two states, Q0 and Q1. So we have to find Q0 comma 0 and Q0 comma 1. How we can calculate? This is the formula for calculating transition. Epsilon closure of del dash of Q0 comma epsilon and 0. What is the meaning of Q0 comma epsilon? Means this is nothing but epsilon closure. So this is the meaning that epsilon closure of Q0. Okay, this one. Epsilon closure of Q0. What is the epsilon closure of Q0? Is nothing but Q0 comma Q1. So I can put in the place of, I can just replace this term with Q0 comma Q1. Okay, and after that we have two states and one input. With the help of union operator we can calculate the value for that particular state. Okay, particular transition. So Q0 comma 0 union Q1 comma 0. Okay, we have to find the value for this transition with the help of the diagram. Okay, Q0 comma 0. Q0 comma 0, it's moves to again itself. So the value is Q0 and another one is 5. Finally, we have to combine all the states we have. Here only one state, that is Q0. So I just put the Q0, and finally we have to give the value as epsilon closure of Q0. Already we have calculated the particular value, that is Q0 comma Q1. Just here. given. Okay, this is the transition function, transition of q0 comma 0 for the output, I mean NFA without epsilon. Okay, this is the way we can find the transition for all the state with all the input. And next one is q0 comma 1, the same procedure we have to follow, and q1 comma 0, q1 comma 1. Now all the transition is over, 2 states, 2 inputs, so we have to calculate 4 transition. So 4 transitions are calculated. After that, we have to draw the transition table and transition diagram with the help of calculated transitions. Okay, we have to, in every case, you have to mention the initial state and final state in transition table and so the transition diagram. Okay, don't forget, you have to mention. And here the states are q0 and q1, the input are 0 and 1. With the help of transition, we can put the value here. Okay, then how we can calculate the initial state? Already we defined, that is we just taken from the input diagram NFI with epsilon. Okay, and here how we can calculate the final state? How we can calculate the final state? Anyone? Students, how we can calculate the final state here?
All the states with the Q1 or Q are final states.
Why Q1?
It was the final state and with the epsilon.
Okay, very good, ma. So in input diagram, which one is the final state? That is the Q1. So wherever we can, we are finding that Q1 state, then we can consider the particular state as the what final state. Okay, here we are reaching in both the states we are having Q1. So I can say both the states are final state. Okay. Okay. Now we are on to the next problem, next conversion problem. That is with epsilon NFA to DFA directly. First problem we have discussed is NFA to DFA conversion, right? The next one with epsilon to without epsilon. Now we are converting with epsilon NFA to DFA directly. Okay. On the whole, we can say the all 3 problems are same set of procedure only, somewhat little changes. Okay. So this is the diagram given, that is the state 3 states are the Q0, Q1 and Q2 with the input symbol 0, 1 and 2, and so we are having what epsilon transition. Okay, now we are converting, we are going to convert this NFA with epsilon to DFA directly. Very important question. These are the steps for converting NFA with epsilon to DFA. The first step is nothing but we will take the epsilon closure for the starting state of NFA is the starting state of DFA. In the case of previous problem, how we select the initial state? Students, in the previous 2 problems, how we selecting the initial state of output, I mean DFA?
Initial state of input diagram.
Yes, very good. So initial state of input, but here the difference is we are not taking not taking just the initial state of input. Here we are taking epsilon closure. Okay, epsilon closure of the input problem for the epsilon closure of initial state of input problem. Okay, that is the initial state for DFA here. This is the difference. In the case of previous problem, just we are taking the initial state only, but here not in the case. We have to find the epsilon closure of initial state and taking that particular states as the initial states for DFA. Not only the initial state, we are taking the epsilon closure of initial state. Okay, this is the first step. And next one, find the states for each input symbol that can be traversed from the present. Yes, next we are going to calculate the transition with all the input symbol. How many input symbol we are having? Respect to that, we are calculating the transition function. Okay, and the same procedure. If we found new state, okay, if you found a new state, then we can we have to add the particular new state into DFA and give some other name to the particular state. Otherwise, we no need to go further, just we can stop. Okay, in the case of second problem, that is NFA with epsilon to NFA without epsilon, we are not giving any name to the states, right? Here we are going to give, like the first problem, NFA to DFA conversion. Okay, we have to repeat step 2 and step 3 until no new state present in the transition table. Okay, and again the mark the states of DFA is the final. Which one is the final state? Which contains the final state of NFA. I mean, in the input diagram, which one having the input which one is the final state for the input diagram? We can assume the particular state wherever we can find, we can make that particular state as a final state. Okay, these are the steps we are going to follow to convert the NFA with epsilon to DFA. Please compare all the three problems and able to find the procedure for each and every one. Okay, almost same. I can say 70% of the procedures are same. Some little changes only. Okay. So, what is the first step? We are going to convert this diagram into NFA with epsilon to DFA. Okay. The first solution, we have to calculate the epsilon closure for all the states. Please tell me what is the epsilon closure of Q0?
Q0, Q1.
Q0, Q1, Q2.
Okay, fine. So epsilon closure of Q0 is nothing but Q0, Q1 and Q2. Everyone know, right, how we can calculate the epsilon closure? If not, please follow. Epsilon closure of Q0 is nothing but we have to start with a particular state, that is Q0, and with the help of epsilon transition, how long we can travel. Up to that, we have to take the states. Okay, here I'm going to calculate the epsilon closure of Q0. So I have started here Q0, and with the help of transition I can move to Q1. After in Q1, with the help of transition I can move to Q2. So epsilon closure of Q0 is nothing but Q0, Q1 and Q2. Okay, then epsilon closure of Q1, that is Q1 and Q2, right? Then epsilon closure of Q2,
Q2.
Q2 only. Okay, fine. Thank you, ma'am. So this is the procedure. We can calculate the epsilon closure. And what is the next step? What is the next step?
Finding the initial state.
Yes, finding the initial state. Okay, here in this procedure, how we can calculate the initial state?
The initial state is Q0, so it will be Q0, Q1, Q2.
Yes, very good, ma. So here in this diagram, the input diagram, the initial state is Q0. For that, we have to calculate the epsilon closure and make the states as a initial state of DFA. Okay, the initial state of DFA be epsilon closure of Q0, that is Q0, Q1, Q2. Now the initial state is Q0, Q1 and Q2. I have named the particular state as a Okay, in the previous problem, I mean, here NFA with epsilon to without epsilon, we are not taking this procedure, that is not giving any name to the particular states, but here we are giving. Okay, what is the next step?
Calculate transition for input states.
Okay, calculate the transition. Here, how many inputs we are having?
3, ma'am.
Okay, 0, 1 and 2. So we have to calculate a comma 0, a comma 1 and a comma 2. Okay. So this is the transition. Del dash of a comma 0 equal to epsilon closure of del of q0, q1, q2. Otherwise, we can give this particular term as a, I can give the particular term as del dash of q0 comma epsilon. Both are same, right? One minute.
Ma'am, Sumitha ma'am, once again.
Yes, ma'am.
See, 98, you are in RHP, no? 98, 140, 151, 157. Why did you join here?
Ma'am, 98 is not an RHP, ma'am. He gave a letter, ma'am.
What?
98 is not an RHP, ma'am. He gave a letter, ma'am.
Okay, 140?
Ma'am, they're having some technical issues.
Problem, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They're not allowing us to join.
Sure, but remaining people are not here in class also. The remaining RHP students are not here in online class. Only you 4 are here. See, Mukesh, that I have to verify. 150 was why issues are? What issue are there?
They have texted like we are having some technical issues.
Okay, then the
Yes,
remaining RSP should join here, no? They are not here then.
Don't know, ma'am.
7, only you people. That's why I asked.
I even informed my friend to join the meet, ma'am.
Then others should join, no? What is this? Huh? So, okay, they'll tell again, huh? They'll tell a
Yeah,
Wednesday.
ma'am. Don't know, ma'am.
So what's the exact status now? They'll inform you again to join? I didn't receive any message. That's why I'm asking.
Like they have texted like please wait, it'll be sorted out. Due to some technical glitches, we are unable to join. Face team is sorting out. Thank you for understanding. They have texted
Okay.
me.
So if they ask to join, you join. Leave this meet and join there, okay?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Okay, yes. Thank you, ma'am. Sumitha,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay. So I can give for this del dash of q0 comma epsilon. Both are same. So here I have mentioned epsilon closure of del of the particular state comma 0. And what is the next step? We have to calculate with the help of union operator. We have to calculate each and every state with the input 0, q0 comma 0, union q1 comma 0 and q2 comma 0. Okay, like this. So tell me what is the value of q0 comma 0?
Q0.
Q0. Okay. What is the value of q1 comma 0? Q1 comma 0. Okay, null. Q2 comma 0?
Null.
Null. So we have only q0. Both the two terms are null. So I can say epsilon closure of q0 again. What is the value? q0, q1, q1 and q2. Okay. This is the del dash, I mean transition of a comma 0. Like that we have to calculate a comma 1 and a comma 2. Please do the particular transition and update me. What is the value of a comma 1? All of you please take a note and try this transition and let me know what is the value for a comma 1.
Q1, Q2.
Q1.
Okay, 2 people responded. What about others? Yes, other students, please try and update me. Yes, others, please cooperate. 169 students are there. 169 people are there, almost 160 are the students. Please update me what is the answer of A comma 1.
Q1, Q2, ma'am.
Okay. Others?
Q1, Q2, ma'am.
Okay, pa, thank you. Okay, some people responded anyhow. Okay, fine. All of you try to solve this by your own and update me. No need to wait for me. You can go A comma 1 and A comma 2. Like that, if you find new states, then you have to do the same procedure. If you find new state, that is B comma 0, B comma 1 and B comma 2, like that, when we can stop, no new state is arrived, then we can stop. After that, we have to draw the transition table and transition diagram. Okay. So the value of A comma 0 is in DFA we have to mention with the square bracket, right? Don't forget. And next one, A comma 1, we got the output Q1 comma Q2, right? And what is the value of A comma 2?
Q2, mom.
Q2. Okay. What about others answer? If you got, let me know. All of you got Q2. Have you all got?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So in this case, we have new states, right? A is nothing but Q0, Q1, Q2, and A comma 1 we have new state, that is Q1, Q2, that is named as B. And the third transition we have the state Q2, that is named as C. Okay. So we have three states, one is already completed. So we have to do what? B comma 0, B comma 1 and B comma 2. Okay. Work out and tell me, ma, what is the answer of B comma 0, B comma 1 and B comma 2?
B comma 0 is null.
Okay.
B comma 1, Q1, Q2.
Q1, Q2 means B, right?
Yes. B comma 2 is Q2.
Okay. All are doing? All of you try to work out and let me know.
Yes, ma'am, same.
Okay, pa.
B comma 0 and 1 is null. C comma 2 is Q2, which is C.
Okay. Okay, we'll see the next answer, that is transition of state B on the input 0, 1, 2. B comma 0 is nothing but null. Okay. This is not compulsory, no need to mention anything. We can just leave as a null. Next one is the B comma 1 is nothing but Q1, Q2, right? And B comma 2 is nothing but C.
Q2.
Yes. Okay. Have you all got this answer? Any changes? Any different answer you got?
No, ma'am.
No changes, mom.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, next we are moving to the next state, that is C. Transition of C on the input 0, 1 and 2. Please try and let me know.
Ma'am, for C comma 0, it's null. C
Okay.
comma 1, it's null. C
Hmm.
comma 2 is Q2.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay,
What
ma'am.
about others? What about others, ma'am? Have you got? Is what about others? Leela, Nityashree, have you done?
Yes, ma'am. C comma 0 is null, C comma 1 is null, C comma 2 is Q2.
Okay, fine.
Got ma'am. Same answer, ma'am.
Okay, pa, okay. What about boys?
Yes, ma'am. Same answer, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. So the answer of Z comma 0 is nothing but null, and C comma 1 is null, C comma 2 is Q2. What is the next step? We have to draw the transition table and diagram, right? This is the transition table and this is the transition diagram. The A is the initial state. So we have to mark that particular arrow mark and we have to fill the value from the transition. Okay. A comma 0 is A and B and C, null, everything. How we can calculate the final state? The final state of given diagram, given input diagram is nothing but Q2. The particular new states, all the new states are able to reach the final state. Okay. So we can mark the particular state. It is also the final state is also part of these states A, B and C. So we can say all the three states are final states. Okay. So that only have mentioned the particular this operator to denote the final state. Okay. In this diagram we have just mentioned with a double circle. Okay. This is the our final DFA. Is it clear, everyone? How we are doing, how we are converting the NFA with epsilon to DFA directly? I think everyone is clear. Okay, we'll move. I have I will give another one problem to work out. Please try this and update me, ma. Do first. The next problem, if you have any doubt, please ask me. Convert this NFA with epsilon into equivalent DFA. Students, are you doing? Are you doing? People, anyone, please respond.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone done? Update me, ma.
I'm completed.
Okay, ma. What about others? Shall we check the answers?
Over, ma'am.
What, Pragnisha?
I got the answer, ma'am.
Okay. Epsilon closure calculation is very, very important. Based on that only we are doing the whole procedure. So please be concentrate on epsilon closure. Shall we check others? Please respond me. Have you completed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, pa. I need some other response. Okay, we will discuss the answer. What is the first step? We have to calculate the epsilon closure for all the states, right? So here we have 5 states: Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. For all the state, we have to calculate the epsilon closure. What is the epsilon closure of Q0?
Q0, Q1, Q2, ma'am.
Q0, Q1, and Q2. Okay, fine. Epsilon closure of Q0 is nothing but Q0, Q1, and Q2. And for Q1,
Q1, ma'am.
Q1. For Q2,
Q2, ma'am.
okay. For Q3,
Q3, ma'am.
Q3, and Q4 also Q4
Q4.
only. Okay. No other epsilon transition for these states. So we just mentioned the particular state itself is the epsilon closure. Okay. So what is the next step? What is the next step?
We need to take Q0 as initial state.
Q0. Is
Yes.
it so?
Epsilon closure of
Epsilon closure of Q0.
Yes. Not Q0. We have to take the epsilon closure of Q0 as the initial state of DFA. Okay. This is the next step. So what is the epsilon closure of Q0? This is nothing but Q0, Q1 and Q2. Okay, this is the initial state of DFA and named as state A. Okay. And we have to apply the input for all the states. That is, now we have the state A. For this, we have to apply the input. What are the inputs we have? 0 and 1. So we have to go with A comma 0 and A comma 1. What is the value of A comma 0, ma?
Q3, ma'am.
Q3. Okay, fine. So this is the new state, right? So we have to name it as B. Okay. Finally, the square bracket is missed here, but you have to mention with, if it is a DFA, you have to mention with a square bracket. Okay. This is the state B. So the next one is A comma 1. What is the value of A comma 1?
Q3, ma'am.
Q3, ma'am.
2, 3. Okay, fine. The same previous
bracket.
state. Okay. Here also you have to mention with the square bracket, and the state name is B. The next one, we have to apply the input on the state B. B comma 0. What is the value?
Null, ma'am.
Null, ma'am.
Null. Okay. B comma 1 is
Q4.
Q4. That is C. That is the new state, right? Then again for the C state, we have to do the same transition. What's the value of C comma 0?
Null,
Null,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. C comma 1?
Null, ma'am.
Null, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Pa. Thank you so much for your response. So for the state C, we have to find the transition of C comma 0 and C comma 1. Okay, finally, no new state is added, so we can stop here. So for that, we have to draw the transition table and transition diagram, right? And here, which one is the final state? How we can
C,
calculate?
ma'am.
C. In that input diagram, which one is the final state? That is Q4. Where the Q4 is reached? Not in A, not in B. Okay, C only. So C is the final state of the DFA. Okay. So the diagram, transition diagram like this. Okay. No issues. You can draw the C in after B also, no problem. Otherwise below, no issues. Okay. You can draw in your way. No need to be like this. Okay. So transition table, how to draw the transition table also. Here the values are not mentioned. What is the value of A comma 0?
Q3.
That is
B.
B. Okay. What is the value of A comma 1?
B.
B, ma'am.
Okay. B comma 0?
C.
Null.
B comma 0 is
Null,
null.
ma'am.
Null.
Yes,
C.
ma'am.
Okay.
B comma 0 is null.
Null, ma'am.
B comma 1 is C.
Okay, pa. C comma 0?
Null, ma'am.
Null, ma'am.
Both null.
C comma 1?
Null, ma'am.
Null. Okay, good. Okay, this is our transition table, right? Like this, we have to draw the transition table and diagram. Okay. I have another one example also. Please try this and update me. Anyone completed? Let me know, ma. Anyone completed? Anyone completed? Students, are you doing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone completed?
Yes, ma'am.
Leela completed, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What about others? What about others? Do fast. Students, have you done? Yes, Varshini done. Okay, good. Yes, Nityashri, have you done, ma? Pragnasya. Okay,
Done, mom.
okay. Jacob, have you done, pa?
Doing, ma'am.
Okay, okay, fine. Okay, we will discuss the answer. So first we have to find the epsilon closure for all the states, right? Epsilon closure of A, B, and C. It's nothing but A, B for that state A, B, C. For the state B, B, C, and for the state C, C, right? This is the first step. And what is the next step? We have to find the initial state of the DFA, right? Which is nothing but we have to find the epsilon closure of initial state of NFA and consider the particular states as the initial state of DFA. Okay, once you find, then you can find the transition for the states which are arrived new for DFA. Okay. So the epsilon closure of A is nothing but ABC. We can consider the particular ABC as the initial state of DFA. We can name it as X. Okay, already ABC is given here, so we can give any name. Okay, that is here given that X. After that, we have to calculate X comma 0 and X comma 1. Here only we have only two inputs, so we have to calculate X comma 0 and X comma 1. Have you got this answer, ma?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. X comma 0 and X comma 0 is nothing but B comma C. So this is the new state. We can name this Y. After that, we have to calculate transition of X comma 1. Okay, for that ABC, already we have the same states here, so we can give the same name, that is X. Okay, then we have to calculate Y comma 0 and Y comma 1. Okay, Y comma 0, the answer is C. Have you got?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
ma'am.
fine. Okay, pa. So the states is we can give another name, that is Z. So next one, Y comma 1, that is BC, already we have, so we can name this Y. So we have to calculate next. We are moving to the next state, that is AZ. So Z comma 0 and Z comma 1. Okay, is it clear? So now we have calculated all the states with all the inputs. No new states are right, so we can stop here, and we have to draw the transition table and transition diagram. And which one is the initial state?
X, ma'am.
X. Which one is the final state?
All the X, Y, and Z.
Okay, all the three are final state. Okay, like this. Okay, so here you can give ABC or you can give X, Y, Z. Okay, no issues. Are you all clear about? Yes. Have you all clear about NFA with epsilon to DFA directly, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Now please we just compare all the three problems and able to differentiate. Okay, how we can able to differentiate is in first problem how we did. The first problem is nothing but NFA to DFA conversion. How we did? How you remember that? NFA to DFA.
If for the same input more than 2 states it is transitioning, it is NFA.
Yes, that is NFA. How we are converting the NFA to DFA? The first problem we have discussed. We have three conversion problem. That is equivalence of NFA DFA. We have three problems. One is NFA to DFA conversion. Next one is NFA with epsilon to NFA without epsilon. And third one is the NFA with epsilon to DFA. Okay, now I'm asking the first problem, NFA to DFA. What is the procedure to convert NFA to DFA? Just recall what we have done in previous classes. Anyone? Anyone remember that how we calculate the NFA to DFA?
Ma'am, take the initial state
Okay, fine.
and calculate the transition for each input
Okay.
till we get no new input,
No new state.
no new state.
Until we have to do the transition. Finally, we draw the transition table and diagram, right? So here, this is the step for converting the NFA to DFA. Please try to differentiate and differentiate the three problems. Don't confuse. These three are very, very important in first unit. So how we calculate it? First, we have to calculate the initial state. We just take the initial state of input diagram. Okay. What is the input diagram? Here the NFA, that is the initial state is Q0. I just make the particular state as the initial state of DFA also. Okay. This is the first step. And the next one, we have to calculate the transition function. Okay. For all the states and with all the inputs a comma 0 and a comma 1. If new states are ready, you have to calculate for that also, otherwise we can stop. Okay, here a, b and c, so we have to calculate a comma 0, a comma 1 and b comma 0, b comma 1 and c comma 0 and c comma 1. No new state arrived, then we can stop the procedure and draw the table and diagram. Okay, here no need to talk about epsilon closure. Is it clear? In the case of NFA to DFA conversion, no need to talk about epsilon closure. We just taking the initial state of the input diagram and mark the particular initial state as the initial state of DFA, I mean output diagram, and calculate transition for all the inputs which we have arrived what newly. Okay, so this is the procedure for converting NFA to DFA. We can mention ABC or with a Q0, Q1 like that. You can give any way. If you are giving A, no issues. If you are giving with A0, Q0, Q1 like that, you have to mention with square bracket. Okay, because it is a DFA. Okay, this is the first problem. My screen is visible, ma?
Yes, ma'am.
My screen is having that NFA to DFA, right? Otherwise, the previous one. Yes. My screen is having NFA to DFA, right? Convert the given.
No, no, ma'am.
Oh, okay, okay. That's why I'm asking. Okay, this is the first problem I have explained now. So just we are taking the initial state and finding the transition function. Based on that, we can draw the transition table and diagram. Okay, this is the first problem. And next one, NFA with epsilon to without epsilon. This one. Here how we did, we have to calculate the epsilon closure. Here the epsilon closure is very important. Based on that only we can proceed. So we have to calculate this is second problem, conversion of with epsilon to without epsilon, but both are talking about NFA, not DFA here. Okay, so first step is nothing but we have to calculate the epsilon closure of all the states. Here we have only two states, Q0 and Q1. So for that we have to calculate the epsilon closure. Then we have to take the initial state for output diagram, which is we can take from the input diagram itself. Okay, so we just take the initial state of NFA with epsilon as a initial state of NFA without epsilon. Okay, just we are taking the initial state. After that we are finding the transition function for all the states with all the input. The same procedure. Here we have to mention the only differences. Here we have to mention the epsilon closure. In the previous case we are not mentioning the epsilon closure. Here we are talking about epsilon closure. Okay, how to go with all the things we are doing based on the epsilon closure only. So like that we are finding the transition for all the states with all the input. Okay, so if new states here, no need to mention any of the state. I mean new state A, B, C, like that. We don't need to give any name to the transition. Okay, just we can keep as it is. No need to give name. No need to find transition based on the new arrival of state. We're just taking doing the transition for all the states with all the input. Okay, that is the difference. So we calculated. After that we have draw the transition table and diagram. Okay, this is the second problem. 1 minute. The third problem we have discussed very well. Here, what is the difference? We're just taking the initial state. How are we taking the initial state? We are just taking the epsilon closure of initial state of the input diagram. Okay, here in this input diagram, the initial state is Q0. For that, we have to find the epsilon closure and take all those states as the new state. I mean initial state of DFA. Here also we have to mention the name for each and every state which arrived new. Okay, so like that the remaining things are same procedure. The initial state only here the difference. We have to take the epsilon closure of initial state of given input. Okay, so this is initial state of DFA, and the remaining things are same procedure. We are finding the transition for all the states and draw the transition table and diagram. Okay. Okay. The time is over. Thank you, students. We will see in next class. Ma'am.